The Santa Ana winds are whispering. They sweep down from the high desert, funneled through the mountain passes, gaining speed and heat as they descend upon the city. These winds, often called the devil winds, have a notorious reputation for fanning the flames of wildfires, turning small sparks into raging infernos. They are a natural phenomenon, but their impact on the urban landscape is anything but natural. The winds carry with them a sense of foreboding, a reminder of the delicate balance between nature and civilization in this sprawling metropolis. They carry the scent of smoke, a harbinger of the destruction that lies ahead. The air becomes thick and acrid, stinging the eyes and filling the lungs with a sense of urgency. It's a smell that the residents of Los Angeles have come to dread, a signal that their lives are about to be upended once more. The smoke blots out the sun, casting an eerie orange glow over the city, a visual reminder of the chaos that is unfolding just beyond the horizon. And the promise of fire, the flames leap and dance, consuming everything in their path with a voracious appetite. Trees, homes, and lives are reduced to ash in a matter of moments. The fire moves with a terrifying speed, driven by the relentless winds, leaving behind a landscape that is unrecognizable. The heat is intense, radiating outward and making it difficult to breathe. Firefighters battle valiantly, but the odds are often stacked against them. The fire is a living, breathing entity, and it shows no mercy. Los Angeles, a city perched on the edge of a tinderbox, braces itself once more. The residents are no strangers to this annual ritual, but that doesn't make it any easier. Evacuation orders are issued, and families scramble to gather their belongings and flee to safety. The highways become clogged with traffic as people try to escape the encroaching flames. There is a sense of helplessness, a realization that despite all the advancements in technology and infrastructure, nature still holds the upper hand. This time it is the Palisades and Eaton Fires that have ignited the hillsides, turning them into a raging inferno. The fires spread quickly, fueled by the dry vegetation and the relentless winds. Homes are lost and lives are changed forever. The scars left behind by the flames are a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human existence. The community comes together in the aftermath, offering support and assistance to those who have lost everything. But the recovery is long and arduous, and the memories of the fire linger long after the flames have been extinguished. The sky, once a brilliant blue, is now choked with smoke, a grim reminder of the ever-present threat that wildfires pose to this sun-drenched metropolis. The smoke hangs heavy in the air, obscuring the skyline and casting a pall over the city. It's a sight that has become all too familiar to the residents of Los Angeles, a visual representation of the constant danger that lurks just beyond the city limits. The fires are a reminder that despite all the progress and development, nature still holds the ultimate power. The year is 2025, and the fires have become a grimly familiar ritual. Each year the fire season seems to start earlier and last longer, a consequence of the changing climate. The residents have learned to live with the constant threat, but that doesn't make it any less terrifying. The fires are a reminder of the fragility of life and the power of nature. They are a force that cannot be controlled, only endured. The community has become resilient, but the scars left by the fires run deep. Each year they seem to grow larger, fiercer, more relentless. The fires are no longer confined to the remote wilderness. They encroach upon the urban landscape, threatening homes and lives. Firefighters are stretched thin, battling multiple blazes across the state. The resources are limited, and the challenges are immense. The fires are a stark reminder of the changing climate and the need for urgent action. But for now, the focus is on survival, on protecting lives and property from the relentless advance of the flames. The land, parched by drought and choked by invasive grasses, is primed for ignition. The dry conditions create a perfect storm for wildfires, and the invasive grasses provide ample fuel for the flames. The landscape is a tinderbox, waiting for a spark to set it ablaze. The drought has left the vegetation dry and brittle, making it easy for the fire to spread. The invasive grasses, which have taken over large swaths of land, burn quickly and intensely, adding to the ferocity of the flames. The combination of drought and invasive species has created a dangerous situation, one that is becoming increasingly difficult to manage. All it takes is a spark, a carelessly discarded cigarette, a downed power line, a lightning strike, and the flames are away. The causes of wildfires are varied, but the result is always the same: destruction and devastation. The fire spreads quickly, consuming everything in its path. The flames are relentless, driven by the wind and fueled by the dry vegetation. The firefighters do their best to contain the blaze, but the odds are often against them. The fire is a force of nature, one that cannot be easily controlled. The residents of Los Angeles have learned to live with this reality, but the fear and uncertainty remain. The fires are a reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human existence. The immediate aftermath of the Palisades and Eaton fires is a scene of devastation. The once vibrant neighborhoods are now unrecognizable, transformed into a haunting landscape of blackened earth and skeletal remains of what used to be homes and businesses. The fires, which raged uncontrollably for days, have left a trail of destruction that stretches for miles, affecting countless lives and livelihoods. Homes, once filled with life and laughter, are reduced to smoldering ruins. The walls that once echoed with the sounds of family gatherings and children's play are now silent, their charred remains standing as grim reminders of the fire's fury. Personal belongings, family heirlooms, and cherished memories have been turned to ash, leaving residents to grapple with the loss of their past and the uncertainty of their future. Cars sit abandoned, their paint blistered and melted by the intense heat. These vehicles, once symbols of freedom and mobility, are now twisted and deformed, their metal frames warped by the relentless flames. The roads, once bustling with activity, are eerily quiet, with only the occasional sound of emergency vehicles breaking the silence. The air is thick with the smell of ash and the acrid tang of chemicals. A dense haze hangs over the area, making it difficult to breathe and see. The sky, once clear and blue, is now a murky grey, casting a pall over the devastated landscape. The smoke, a constant reminder of the fire's destructive power, lingers long after the flames have been extinguished. The human toll is still being calculated, but the numbers are grim. Rescue workers and emergency responders are tirelessly combing through the wreckage, searching for survivors and assessing the damage. Their faces, etched with exhaustion and determination, tell the story of a community in crisis. The full extent of the devastation is still unknown, but it is clear that the road to recovery will be long and arduous. At least 20 people are confirmed dead, their lives cut short by the flames or the suffocating smoke. Each loss is a tragedy, leaving behind grieving families and a community in mourning. Memorials and tributes have sprung up across the area as people come together to honor the victims and support one another in their time of need. Thousands more have been displaced, forced to flee their homes with little more than the clothes on their backs. Evacuation centers are filled with people seeking refuge, their faces marked by fear and uncertainty. Volunteers and aid organizations are working around the clock to provide food, shelter, and support to those affected. But the scale of the disaster is overwhelming. The fires have left an indelible scar on the landscape and on the hearts of those who call Los Angeles home. The once lush forests and thriving communities are now barren and lifeless, a stark contrast to the vibrant city that once was. But amidst the devastation, there is also a sense of resilience and hope. The community is coming together, determined to rebuild and recover, proving that even in the face of such overwhelming loss, the human spirit remains unbroken. In the face of tragedy, the spirit of Los Angeles shines through. Neighbors help neighbors, offering food, water, and shelter to those who have lost everything. Volunteers flock to evacuation centers, their arms laden with donations of clothing, blankets, and toiletries. The outpouring of support is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Even in the darkest of times, there is light to be found in the kindness of strangers. The community bands together, offering comfort and support to those in need. Firefighters are on the front lines, battling the flames with courage and determination. They work tirelessly day and night, pushing themselves to the limit of human endurance. The heat is intense, the smoke is choking, and the terrain is treacherous. Despite their best efforts, the fires continue to rage. The Santa Ana winds whip the flames into a frenzy, driving them across the dry brush with terrifying speed. The firefighters are engaged in a desperate battle, trying to contain the fire and protect what little remains. Section 5. A city under siege. The government response to the crisis has been swift but, inadequate. The wildfires have spread rapidly, consuming thousands of acres of land and threatening countless homes and businesses. The sheer scale of the disaster has overwhelmed local resources, leaving many residents feeling abandoned and desperate for help. Governor Newsom has declared a state of emergency, freeing up state resources to aid in the firefighting and recovery efforts. This declaration has allowed for the mobilization of additional firefighting crews, the deployment of National Guard units, and the opening of emergency shelters for displaced residents. Despite these efforts, the fires continue to rage and the situation remains dire. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, has also mobilized, sending teams to assist with the disaster relief. FEMA's involvement has brought much-needed resources and expertise to the affected areas, including specialized equipment and personnel trained in disaster response. Their presence has been a welcome sight for many, but the scale of the disaster means that even their considerable efforts are stretched thin. However, there is growing criticism of the government's handling of the situation. Many residents feel that the response has been too slow and that more could have been done to prevent the fires from spreading in the first place. Social media has been flooded with posts criticizing the government's actions, and protests have erupted in several cities, demanding more accountability and better preparedness for future disasters. Some argue that more should have been done to prevent the fires in the first place, citing the need for better forest management and stricter building codes in fire-prone areas. Experts have long warned that without proper forest management, including controlled burns and the removal of dead trees and underbrush, the risk of catastrophic wildfires would continue to grow. Additionally, there is a call for more stringent building codes to ensure that homes and businesses in fire-prone areas are constructed with fire-resistant materials and designs. The debate over how to best address these issues is ongoing, but one thing is clear: the current crisis has highlighted the urgent need for comprehensive and proactive measures to protect communities from the devastating impact of wildfires. Section 6. The Tinderbox Ignites. Wildfires are a natural part of the California landscape, but their frequency and intensity have increased in recent years. Climate change is a major factor, as rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and changes in precipitation patterns create a tinderbox-like environment. Human activity also plays a role. Carelessly discarded cigarettes, campfires that are not properly extinguished, and arson are all potential sources of ignition. As more people move into fire-prone areas, the risk of human-caused fires increases. Section 7. Taming the Wildfire. Preventing future wildfires will require a multifaceted approach. This includes implementing better land management practices, such as controlled burns and the removal of dead trees and brush, to reduce the amount of flammable material in forests. Improving infrastructure is also crucial. This includes burying power lines to prevent them from sparking fires and retrofitting homes with fire-resistant materials. Public education is key to raising awareness about the dangers of wildfires and teaching people how to protect themselves and their property. Section 8. A call to action. The Los Angeles wildfires of 2025 are a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of climate change. They serve as a call to action, urging us to address this pressing issue before it is too late. We must reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, invest in renewable energy sources, and adopt sustainable practices in our daily lives. The future of our planet and the lives of generations to come depend on it. Section 9. Our burning planet. The smoke from the Los Angeles wildfires will eventually clear, but the scars they leave behind will remain. They are a grim reminder that we are living in an era of unprecedented environmental change, an era where wildfires are becoming more frequent, more intense, and more destructive. The time for complacency is over. We must act now to address the root causes of climate change and mitigate the risks of future wildfires. Our collective future depends on it.